Hey everybody, so I'm going to go over the Earthbound any percent glitchless no manip speedrunning route here. This is for casual speedrunners, people who kind of want to just get acquainted with it, have the basics sort of explained to them, and I'm going to go over that. So I'm going to play a game of Earthbound using the any percent glitchless no manip route. And I'm going to talk about the strategies and the special skills it takes and things you want to anticipate and all of that stuff. So firstly, let's talk about what an any percent glitchless no manip map is, or game is. So any percent, of course, means complete the game at any percent of completion. Glitchless means no out of bounds skips. At least for for Earthbound, it means out of bounds skips, item duplications, things like that. And no manip means no RNG manipulation. There is another route that does RNG manipulation, but I'm not very good at it, and I'm not going to teach it to you, but I can talk about it a little bit as we go through the route. Basically, if you're able to manipulate the RNG values, you can make the first fifth of the game go a lot smoother. But let's get right into it. So firstly, I'm going to talk about a couple Earthbound speedrunning skills before we begin, and I'll be demonstrating over the course of the run. In no particular order, we'll be using skip sandwiches to cleverly get around enemy encounters, enemies in the overworld. We'll be using teleport alpha to get through certain areas faster and avoiding being able making contact with certain enemies, just kind of speeding around them. We're going to prepare for Monkey Cave by picking up 3 or 4 items along the way that will allow us to navigate it very smoothly. Swirls, if you didn't already know, if you and if Ness or your playable character and another enemy touch each other head to head, you'll have a black swirl will come out before the game, and you'll do a normal battle. And then if one of them catches the other on their backside, they'll get an advantage. If you get the advantage, it's a green swirl, and if they get an advantage, it's a red swirl. And if you get green swirls, you can get a free escape on round 1 in the battle. Speaking of which, speed plays a very big role about turn order, and also Jeff's bottle rocket damage. Basically, if any when he does bottle rocket damage, if his bottle rocket connects, it'll deal anywhere between 90 and 150 damage. Big bottle rockets is the same count computation, but 5 times, and then a multi-bottle rocket fires 20 regular bottle rockets. So you want your accuracy up, and speed is effectively accuracy in this game, and so we'll be doing that to take out bosses pretty fast in the end. Speed impacts battles in other clever ways too, when enemies are paralyzed or asleep, they have a speed value of 0. And if all enemies on the screen are asleep or paralyzed, that's a 100% chance to escape. More on escapes, if you every time you fail an attempt to escape, the probability of a successful escape increases by 10% round over round. That's worth thinking about. But I also want to talk about, for a greater amount of time, about progressive despawning. So there are, of course, spawn points throughout this spawn. What do they call them? Spawn tiles over the course of the the hostile areas in the game, and there's a probability that a spawn tile will or will not spawn monsters, and if they do, there's a small pool of types of monsters that come out of it. One might always be a mole. One might be a crocodile, or a crocodile and mole, or a bunch of other creatures. But they're all very, but those pools are all very consistent and specific to, and tend to be specific to that particular spawn point. So over time you can figure out what the probability is of what you're going to run into as you play the game, and that just comes to you over time. But I'll be bearing that in mind as we go from room to room. And stutter stepping. Well, excuse me, not stutter stepping. I want to talk about progressive despawning first. So, when those spawn tiles spawn enemies, they appear in a rectangle like around our game screen. So if you picture the game screen in front of you, imagine a rectangle around it that is about half a screen above and below the actual screen, and about a third of a screen on either side. When the playable character moves through a map, and one of the spawn tiles comes into like the frame, the larger frame, that's when there's a probability for an enemy to appear. And progressive despawning is despawning those enemies by having the sprite leave that larger rectangle. And you can do that in a couple different ways, by stutter stepping, and which I'll get into, by clipping them on a tree or other terrain and getting through them. There's clever ways to do it. But before I talk about stutter stepping, I want to let you know that we'll be leveraging different enemy movement patterns. And what I mean is that different classes of overworld sprite enemies have different movement patterns, and we are going to be thinking about how those movement patterns work as we try to avoid them. Firstly, and perhaps most importantly, is the guys you can stutter step, and those are snakes, rats, ants, moles, tiny pile of pukes, cockroaches, spiders, and eels. Stutter stepping means when you're in range of them, they'll run at you, but the game is only reading whether or not you've got a directional input, like the up, down, left, or right on your control pad, and it's checking for movement every let's say first frame and fifth frame out of 8 frames, let's say. Stutter stepping is mashing that button on the controller, not holding it down, but tapping it repeatedly as fast as you can by hopping over the checks, and so that's how you get around the stutter steppers. But more about other enemy sprite movements. There's guys that swing back and forth, and those are so there's short swingers and wide swingers, and the short ones are crows and bats, and when they approach you, they'll come in little swinging motions. But a neat thing about them is if they get caught on something while they're partway through a first swing, they cannot swing back in the other direction without completing it. So you can kind of get them caught on things as you go. Wide swingers are diamonds, UFOs, bees or flies, smiling spheres, and balls of light. And they behave the same sort of way, but they swing wider, and they're just definitely harder to get around. There's a variety of guys that just charge you, whether or not you've got a movement button pushed down, and those are dogs, wolves, the sharks, sprouts, cultists, marionettes, pumpkin heads, or pumpkin boys, goats, ducks, zombies, noose men, dolly's clocks, dolly paintings, bukas, zombie dogs, frogs, foppies, buffalo, scorpions, mummies, mermen, everything in the Lost Underworld, and the Ranboobs. So they'll just charge at you at a high aggro range, at a large aggro range. There's also folks that charge you at a low aggro range, and those are mobile mushrooms, stop signs, both hieroglyphics, and trash cans. There's also folks that charge you at low speed, and your baseline walking speed is faster than their run speed, and so sometimes you can just blow past them, and depending on how constrained your movements are. Maybe if you're in a tight quarter, you got to be more clever about it, but you're faster than them. And those are trees, cave boys, crocodiles, the big plants in Deep Darkness, robots, Monotoli robots, floating eyeballs, folks like that. The taxis charge you at an arc. That's different. The present boxes, they slide, and they're pretty neat too, actually. They slide about 1/3 of the way of the screen, and then they pause, and then they can only slide, and then they redirect, and then they can move another third of the screen. And so you kind of go around them in sharp angles to dodge them. Starmen teleport. They're easy to get. Green swirls on. We'll show you all about that at Starman base. Ghosts teleport and move slowly. And a funny thing that the tongues of fire and the question marks do is they rotate too in a circle, but if they if they collide into terrain, they'll teleport to the position that they would have moved to if they didn't collide into terrain, and trying to continue to complete its circle. And then finally, caterpillars, they run away, and we're not going to be getting any caterpillars here. What else do you want to talk about before we begin? I guess I'll say we'll just get the game started here. I've been I've done this route for a few years. I think I'm 39th in NA right now, and I just feel like maybe this would be a fun thing to do, kind of reveal like what's going on in my head and how the route sort of works. Anyways, to begin here, always pick fast. There's an untruth out there in the community where people think that just because you pick fast means that your health meter rolls down faster, so you can mash text faster, so the health meter doesn't roll to zero as fast as possible. And I guess what I'm getting at is that if you didn't already know, that if you take mortal damage in this game, but you can clear the battle before your health rolls down to zero, you can survive with low health. And some people think that because you pick fast text speed, you can button mash your way through the battle text to speed up, to get in front of the health rolling down. And that's not true. It doesn't matter which text speed you do, but because we're speedrunning, we pick fast. Stereo's fine. I like mint. I'm going for it. And well, since every text box prints individual characters, one character at a time, we need one letter one letter entries for this section here. And so I'm just gonna go N P. P's for Paula, N's for Ness, J's for Jeff. And because I don't want another P in the name, we're gonna go with X. Don't matter. And I like to do the musical note for fun. The route begins when you hit yep, and we're going to do it. So if you've got your live splits kind of set up, you would start now. Ness's house, or N's house. We're going to pick up the cracked bat first, in Tracy's room. Now, if you didn't already know, you can, so like if you hit A, you can pull up this menu, you can go down here to check, and like that'll open the box. But the L trigger will check or talk for you regardless. The L trigger is useful for like mashing text and hitting the confirm option in yes/no prompts. Oh my god, Mom. And the select button is good for mashing text in advance of no prompts, because it'll also select no instead of also advanced text. As we're going up Yonut Hill, we are gliding as we please, gliding off that, gliding off that. We're going to try to stick through these trees. Oh, a fail. Don't want to get caught on those trees. Try to get on the inside of them. But when I say gliding, I mean like when Ness makes particular collisions, he can like kind of grind off of them. You want to do that to help like you from like stopping or sticking on corners and things like that. Talk to Pokey, head back. See him grinding on stuff. This kind of helps set you up for certain angles. And it's fun. See that nice long diagonal line? You want to draw that too. We do not take the dog along because he makes, although he does make for a third party member that actually deals damage, looking at you, Pokey, he increases the amount of like surface area my party has to like make contact with enemies, and we need to be as slim as possible. And we're not even trying to get into fights anyways, so it's just going to be required party only. Sorry, dog. Alright, let's get into our first hostile area. It was actually pretty hard to go through. Okay, I think I can clip him. Oh, there's two of them? That's not fair. They're gone. When I tap that button there, you're kind of like cycling RNG forward. Oh, can I do this? I have to draw him out. Oh, that's not good. That was close. But we gotta fight him now. Oh, thank you. Do not prolong my suffering. 1 EXP. Okay, so that was bad. We didn't want to take that fight. Let's keep her moving here. Oof, dogs. We can despawn the dog over here. Oh boy. Oof, that was close. It's not the same dog. That was a respawned dog. Okay. And he's stuck. He's not gonna get me. Ooh. That snake we dodged at the end was pretty rare to find. Usually he's not there. So I'm not advancing text with the A button. I'm using the left trigger because the left bumper because it's just easier for me to button mash, to text mash. If I know that a question, like a yes/no question, is coming, and I know I'm going to say yes to it, I'll use this button. But if I know that the next prompt is a no answer, I'll switch to mashing the select button. I'll point out the no ones. Enemy spawns are turned off on the way back. So we're going to get into a fight with the Starman Jr. here, and if you were RNG manipping, this is one of the best reasons to like do the manip, because this is a scripted fight. You're really at it's really up to Buzz to deal damage, and he only deals damage every other turn. So when you've got when you're doing the manip, you're gonna have him like crit twice right away, and it just makes things go a lot faster. But since we're not doing it, we just have to wait, frankly. Hopefully we get lucky. Ooh, him guarding was good. But Buzz didn't crit like we would have liked him to. And as you can see, you want the Starman Jr. to defend instead of do his fire spells, because as you can see, it takes like lots of screens of text to like print everything that it does. Like watch that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Yeah, so that saved us like 4 text boxes. I mean, it would be nice to get him in 2 attacks, but he has been defending nicely, so. There we go. He'll be gone. PSI life up. Our first spell. It is the truth, so listen. Life up costs 5 psychic points. Deals a good amount of health. Always hits. You don't actually need to talk to Buzz. You can blow past him and the conversation begins anyways. After he asks you a question you'll answer yes to, you can swap to the select and answer no to the second question. So we're going to get the Mr. Baseball cap first. There are enemies along the way. So as I'm traveling down this path here, I'm not actually looking at SNES. I'm looking at the edge of the screen that I'm headed to, because I expect that... Yep. Oh boy, hi everybody. Oh my gosh, how are you not despawned? Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for that. Another thing that like helps you keep out for or look out for enemies is like the game like lags a little bit when enemy spawns, and that's kind of like, well, Ness is like a psychic kid anyways, and so I kind of picture it as it's like his like psychic abilities, his spidey sense, and so you want to use that to your advantage too as you're going through tight areas where you don't have like places to dip and dodge and get an enemies caught on corners. Yeah. So we're going to sell this thing right away, and that's because the value we get selling this, the baseball cap, can earn us a more complete set of early game equipment. Although it will be a less protective helm. Withdraw 40 here. Buy the hat first. Buy the T-ball bat second. Buy the cheap bracelet third. Now we're heading over to the arcade to fight Frank and Frankenstein. And the place is usually covered in like spawns of sharks, but if you go over to the hospital here like I did and head over there, for some reason, like it always clears them. I want to fight this guy on purpose. Oh, he missed. That's good. $25 health. I think I'll chance it. You better just beat it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lucky me. I chanced it. So there's a probability Ness would not have taken that much damage in this fight, but I gambled wrong, and I exposed myself to a game over there. It would have been more prescience to life up before the battle began, but I thought I would try to conserve my resources by trying to just get another fight in and recovering more damage or recovering more health, but he said no. When I answered that question here, I actually answered no, even though the question was, you want to become a member? Hit select, even though my cursor was showing yes. So every time Frankie hits you, you heal. Easy as that. That's good. Yes. And that's how you do that. You just, every time he hits you, you heal up. That's all. Now for Frankenstein Mark II, every odd-numbered turn will be a blast of steam, and it'll deal no damage. But the second turn will be a normal punch, and then the ooh, see that? Wasn't that tricky? Swagalicious. So I stopped talking there because I was like gambling on whether or not I wanted to heal up on a steam turn or heal up on a punch turn, where very much like that second shark we fought, was gambling on taking more damage to recovering more damage by trying to hold out for one more turn. And I knew that on turn 4, he was going to do a strong punch or a weak punch, and I would have survived a small punch, but it turns out I just barely had enough health to button mash text to pull off the life up in time, and the gamble worked. It is always advantageous to restore health on an attack turn. Just don't play it as close to the chest as I did. So we go back in because it gives you a free restore. Headed to City Hall next. You notice I talked to the mayor from like the left, right? Well, I saved myself a couple frames by not pathing Ness any farther. I was close enough to initiate the conversation. And it saved just a little bit of time there. Don't do it if you like risk like missing them or talking to somebody else. So we're going to buy hamburgers. Now, the number of hamburgers you're going to buy is depends upon like how many you used in the game so far, usually in like the fights. I didn't use any, and so I know I need 5. But if you used 1 in the fight, you would need 6, and so on. Oops, wrong button. You know what, I'm just going to have that. Yeah, so, ooh, I was wrong. Maybe I did use 1. Okay, so that cup of fruit juice wasn't supposed to happen, but I've got a use for it later. Magic butterflies restore... Oh, I don't like that. Magic butterflies restore 20 PP. If you get all the way up to the store, it'll open a text box that says, like, you know, can't come in. But if you can scoot up right up to it, you can use the key of the shack and bypass it. So that little text box didn't show up. In here, we're at Giant Step, the first like proper dungeon of the game, and this is the only place we like actually grind. We're looking for 20 slugs, and you can farm them safely down here. They come in packs of 4, most of the time packs of 4. Don't hit very hard and give good experience. They have 32 health. Hit them for 32 exactly. Lucky me. Elsewhere in the zone, there are antoids that hit really hard, call friends, and restore health. They're like they'll kill you. They're really, really hard. And mice are just a waste of time. So we're just looking for slugs. Oh, hit him for 31. I guess they have less than 32 health. Is it 29? Maybe it's 28. You want to keep all of your health items, so we're just gonna life up with. Oh, lucky me. That's 12. So we're farming to get to level 8, which is where we will get our first attack spell, which is PSI Rockin' or whatever you input for your favorite thing. And PSI Rockin' costs 10 PP, and it is an AoE. It'll hit everybody on the screen. It can miss, and it has a very wide range of damage values it can use. It can deal. It can hit for as little as 40. It can hit for as many as 90, or maybe even 100. gotta stutter him. Oof. Getting close. If you've got like 19 slugs, like I do right now, you may want to try to gamble on like taking one rat out. Ooh, this might be a one-hit kill. Yeah. Oof, that wasn't it. There, that should... Let's hope that does the trick. We have to stutter step our way through this. It can be quite dangerous. I really, really, really do not want to get in a fight with Antoids, and they typically come in twos. Yeah, those are Antoids, but I think I can stutter them. Shit. I gotta despawn those guys. 2 more Antoids right there. Nice. Okay. Do I have full health? I don't know. Did not. Okay, there's gonna be a... Hey, you're... What are you doing down there? Most of the time, there is a magic butterfly right here. If you need to get a second one, like you're low on PP, you can go back through here and respawn like I just did. Don't go in and out of here because, strangely enough, the probability of it spawning if you're coming out of this mouth is lower than if it comes out of that one on the right. So at this point, what I like to do is I go to status and I check my offense value. If it's 24 or higher, I can one-hit kill Antoids now. And sometimes there's one sitting here right for me, and might just run at it. I have room for a hamburger now, an extra hamburger now, because we consumed that key. Yeah, this is just one guy. I'm going to go right at him. And there's just one right here. It's raining and thundering outside. I don't know if that's picking up, but it's making this all very harrowing. So we're at Titanic Ant, and honestly, there's probably a 20% chance RNG just Fs me and we just die. But the plan is turns 1 and 2, you get Rockins off, and pray you do high damage. So let's do that. Unless he like hits you super hard. Oh, that was good damage. Actually, I'm gonna get a hamburger in. Yeah, that's prescient. Okay. More biting attacks. I'm gonna be able to get all my guys off. That's excellent. We're gonna use life up right away because he can drain magic. And if you want to use your PP before he just sucks it out of you. Oh yeah, feeling happy I ate that hamburger. Oof, that's pretty low. Uh-oh, this could be bad, everybody. Lucky me. Defense downs are good. Excellent. Excellent. I was a little spooky for a bit. Titanic Ant has 235 health. If you did die, you would respawn at your parents' place, your mom's place, and then you would have to suffer a photo guy spawn point. We're going to avoid all photo man spots except for 3. Or I should say, no, I'll put it this way. All 3 are unavoidable, and we're going to try to avoid some of the more trickier ones. If we were doing the manip route, you would probably be death warping at the bottom of the long, tall room because you had saved your game at Onet Hotel to do the next thing. But we didn't do that. That's not that route, so we're going back the normal way. So these guys are all running for me now, and like you want to angle yourself that they're not gonna like run into the doorway that you're trying to go through. So bear that in mind as things flee you. I'm pretty sure if you hit yes to that question, the text runs out faster than the no answer. So we're going to do a gauntlet of cops, and then we're going to fight the police chief. We do 4 policeman fights in a row, and then we go straight into a boss. We're going to buy up more hamburgers. Big on cholesterol today. It only takes... I only bring 6 along. I don't remember how many are left from the fight. Probably 1, so maybe we'll just buy 5. Oh, but I bought that one, fruit juice, so maybe we'll buy 6. Oh, couldn't. Couldn't buy 6 because the fruit juice still occupies an inventory slot, even if I wished it was a hamburger. Each cop has 75 health, and the strategy is if your health falls below 35, use life up alpha. But if your health falls below 60, restore health with a hamburger. And by the time you get to the end of the 4th cop, you want to have high health and at least 20 PP, because you're going to spend them all on strong. Ba-da-ba-da. Ooh. Got to go first that time. Very advantageous. And another hamburger. I don't remember the probability of the hamburger drop. We fell below, oh my gosh. That is unusual. Still, we're going to use life up. Because a crushing blow could kill me. Well, it's not just that, it's the economy of the turn. Oh. Oh no. Okay, so we're starting the fight with low health. So we're gonna need to turn 1 life up, followed by 2 turns of Rock and Alpha. We didn't end the 4th cop with high health. And he hits hard. He can hit as hard as like 75. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let that roll up for a bit. Now we're gonna hit him. Hopefully we don't miss. Oh my god, we missed. Captain Strong is 140 health. Okay, good. So as you notice, your rock-ins can fail when you need them dearly. Oops, looked away. Looked away at my doggy. My pet pup is out there. So we're headed down to Tucson. One thing I'll say before we go is that if you... So we're going to need a food item for Apple Kid momentarily. If you don't have... Oh my god, I have so many food items. If you're short on food items, you can get one here if you wanted to. It's another can of fruit juice. Another thing I'll say is that if you were doing the manip, you can... So there was like a barricade here that you couldn't pass through until you defeated the cops. You can... through RNG manipulation, overload the maximum number of sprites that appear here and in this area, and it will despawn the barricades, and so you wouldn't even need to go through the cop gauntlet. These guys run from you. We need an exit mouse. It take you back to the beginning of dungeons. We'll be using a lot of these. There's a hamburger in that chest, if you wanted. Oof. Oh my god, go away. We can go around this one. Okay, so we made it to Tucson. There are little bug creatures in this area that could chase you, so just because you hear the music change, don't think you're scot-free yet. Enter town through here. Do not go to the bicycle shop, because there's a photo stop right next to it. Right in front of it. Here we're going to withdraw $500 and save our game. Oh, we'll do this first. Good enough. We save our game because we're going to be death warping back to this position later. Now we're headed over to Apple Kid. There are, besides ants, there are other, like, hostile enemies in town here. There's, like, angry, grumpy men, hippie dudes, police officers. Gotta beware of them. There it is. The reason the Earthbound does things like that is ask you if you've got if I can have a food item, is because they usually want to hand you something. So, like, he walked in front of the door, and Apple could cleared inventory space so I could take the receiver phone. That'll happen a few times. You could also save your game at the bus station if you wanted to. We're going to go through Peaceful Rest Valley. Oh, I don't even have any. And we're going to hope we can find 2 magic butterflies in between here and there. Usually pretty common. Wow, these rooms are empty. That's crazy. So we're at Peaceful Rest Valley. We're going to go inspect a little statue and come back to town. Again, I'm not looking at NES, I'm looking at the top of my screen, so I can the first like chance I see an enemy, I'll stop moving. So I'm not like I notice and then I let go. I let go more promptly. Now, what needs to happen is you have to like spawn that statue here. You don't have to go up and check it. You just have to spawn it. And spawn it again doesn't necessarily mean that it's like in your game screen. You could spawn it from like here. But since this is like kind of an introductory to the route, I'm just going to tell you just go up until it's until you see it, because I'd hate for you to go back and try to get the next story beat to happen and realize it's not there because you didn't actually spawn the statue. It's not going to do the trick. It's just at the edge. You'll find that, so when I talked about progressive despawning, you'll find that like, oh man, I'd love to despawn them, but I just don't have enough room in the room. Room in the room. Yeah. Don't have enough room. And so, like you saw me there, I had to abort and leave the room and try to just refresh the room. And hey, there's one. Full mana will be 2. These mushrooms can hide in this tree line and like jump out at you, by the way. So we're not actually going to Apple Kids because he's not there, although he said he was. Or, I wasn't supposed to go down that way. That was bad routing on my part. You don't want to get too close to... Oh, shoot. Just got too much shit. That's how I should have approached. Do not go to the house in Berglund Park. You will fight an optional boss named Everdred. And we do not fight optional bosses in our speedrun route. It's gonna be funny though, he's gonna show up later and be like your friend, but because you didn't actually have your first meeting with him, like, you'd be like, who are you? What are you doing here? So this time, woo, hey there. This time we're actually going to cross Peaceful Rest Valley. It's going to take some, like, recollection of spawn points and, like, what can spawn what, and kind of getting yourself in a good enough position to turn them off, the spawn tiles, or to evade the things that spawn. Catch them on corners, things like that. Oh my god. I can feel the lag when they spawn. I don't know if it'll come up in the video. Oh yeah, we'll despawn you. UFOs are fast. We don't like UFOs. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm kind of pincered here. This is not good. You do not want this. But I don't really have a choice. I'm just gonna go straight down. Okay, cool. So we caught him on another thing. Oh, ugly. Oh, gross. Oh man, what is a guy gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. We're just gonna burst them. This is terrible. We're just gonna burst them before they burst me. Uh-huh. That was terrible. Yeah, those pincers happen. Oh god, there's a tree there too? I don't have enough room to despawn him. I have to go back up. Can I just... yeah. Oh man. This is the shittiest peaceful rest valley I've ever seen. We're gonna try running from this. And RNG hates me. This is highly unusual. Okay. So let's despawn those guys up there. There's gonna be some around here. There's almost always. Yes. Can we get another one? Don't think so. There's still a chance we can find other butterflies. There we go. Let's despawn all those guys up there. Oh boy. Are they gone? They're gone. Something I'll say down here is if you're feeling risky, you can go down this very narrow ridge here and find a present that has like a horn of life or a couple of life noodles, and it'll save you some time when you have to resurrect Paula. But I'm not going to do the risky route here. We're just going to go. We're just going to go forward. So we're getting to Happy Happy Village here. Sometimes these snakes come at you, and then like you one-hit kill them. Suicide snakes, I call them. Usually I don't have a cold when I'm going through this. I'm just going to withdraw as much money as I can. Do you have cold remedies here? Yes. Ah. Okay. Actually, you know what? I have to drop a lot of stuff because I have to buy some things. Yeah, we'll keep. Yeah, we'll do that. Hold remedy, please. Yes. And you've got... So we buy the Sandalot bat here. And then we buy the Holmes hat. Yeah. And then from you, we get 2 refreshing herbs, because we're going to use them to cleanse poisons later. We do not save our game, because we still need a... Oh, shoot. Getting ahead of myself. We go in here. We don't save our game there, because we still are expecting to death warp back to Tucson. Always enter this cabin from the back. Around the back. How much? Oh yeah, I've got enough. So next fight is going to be against 2 of these guys. And a crow. They each have 94 health. They can call friends. You basically just rocking them 1 or 2 times depending on how much damage you deal. If you don't actually kill anybody, any of the cultists on turn 1, you'll just hit them with it again. Yeah. They're pretty low on health. But they failed. Better. Want my psychic points, so we will eat a hamburger. Oops. Oop. Nope, we don't want you. We're heading towards the great big barn. I think we're going the wrong way here. If you need a health item, there's a croissant in there. I do not need one. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Whoa. Hold on, am I confused? Oh my god. This skip sandwich we'll use for Monkey Cave. We'll just bash him unless he calls for... Oh my god. Alright, we're gonna fight Carpainter next. 262 health. We have the Franklin badge, and there's a chance that when he casts lightning on us, that we'll reflect it back onto him. He can restore health, and he hits pretty hard. But the funny thing about this fight is that we want to be as low health as possible at the end of the fight, because we're going to try to death warp afterwards, after we pick up Hala. Oof, nice. Oh man. It's not hitting me. I feel like if he had to hit me one more time, he might kill me. So I'm going to eat a thing here. Yeah. Might be out of food items? Yeah, we're just gonna bash. Oh, so that's a bummer. So what? So this would be a run ender right there. But man, maybe I did need that croissant. I didn't really think I would need to. But that would be a run ender. But we're just gonna go back and try again. So now that I got full health and full mana, I'm just gonna try to burst him. He's guaranteed to do that healing ability on turn 2, so it might be a waste, but it doesn't really matter because we're gonna be death warping eventually, anyways. Again, 262 health. Goods. If you didn't pick up the sandwich, now's your last chance. That was wonky pathing. I don't think that's the fastest way to get there. Oh my. Go around the back. Use the key. Oops. Don't talk to her, use the key to the cabin. So once we get her, we're going to do a lot of inventory. We're going to drop all of Ness's items. Excuse me, we're going to drop all of Ness's healing items. We're going to give Ness's cheap bracelet to Paula, give Ness's Holmes hat to Paula, and then drop Paula's teddy bear. But don't equip anything to Paula just yet. Are there any... Oh no, that's it. Okay, and then teddy bear drops. So we need a death warp next. Don't go straight down. There's a photo man spot there now. So we drop the teddy bear because the teddy bear absorbs blows in battle, and if we're trying to kill ourselves, we don't want someone tanking for us. So it goes. Try to death warp the moles here. Kind of annoying because sometimes they just choose not to choose not to deal any damage, and that's annoying. So I hit attack, but what I really should have done was you hit goods, ATM cards, so like you don't actually like deal damage to him. Then again, it takes doing damage to him to snap him out of his stupor. Which is why he's like just not very reliable. Yeah, exactly. Not supposed to win the fight. But here's a safety item for you. You can, like, go all the way to find a treasure chest over in this direction down here, and there's a travel charm, I think it is, and that gives speed, and so when you get Jeff, you can equip it to him. And then you can kill yourself if you wanted to. After this, you withdraw... How much do you withdraw? Is it just 100? I can't remember exactly. I think it's 400. Things have been shitty with me lately. So we're gonna go to the hospital and res Paula. Now, like I said, if you did pick up that cup of noodles or whatever it was, and that ridge I described, you would just use it on her then. But since we don't have that, we have to pay the doctor's fee. Get the backstage pass from this guy. Ooh, bag lady, fun. We're here to tell her parents that she's safe, or just her dad. Now, in Paula's room is a safety item, a teddy bear that you can actually use to absorb blows, and just to demonstrate it, I'm going to grab it. Fun fact about teddy bears, so when they run out of health, they just die and they leave your inventory. But if you give a teddy bear to Escargot Express and you take it out again, it refreshes the teddy bear's health. Ooh, it's laggy. Oh my god. 2 dogs and a cop. Usually you just go like, whoop. So there's Everdread, the optional boss. He's never met him before, but I'm his partner now. He's gonna give me a wad of bills. And then we go to the Chaos Theater. There is a photographer spot in front of this light post, and so you enter the Chaos Theater like this by gliding along the corner here and going up. Do not talk to this person. Give her the wad of bills. I thought I did. Oh, wad of bills. Jeez, backstage pass. You'd think the wad of bills would work on her. When the show starts, you've got a couple minutes for a break. This would be your first opportunity for a bathroom break on your run. There are moments in this game where you need to like glide upwards as soon as you enter a door, and here's like good practice for it. If you choose to wad bills to this dude, you have to do it to his side and not in front of him, because the musician's going to break into the room and they're going to occupy that space. So the game makes sure that you're not standing in their way. This NPC is really good at getting in your way. We go around the spawn point again. Jams are too good for these ghosts. We're headed to the graveyard. There's enemies that might get in our way, including pumpkin-headed boys and marionettes. And inside the graveyard are flies and all kinds of ghosts. Ooh boy. Oof. It's a popular graveyard. Something's around here. There's a fly down there. So we need to get around this corner here, but there's usually flies around. I'm not seeing any. That's very lucky on my part. Great. Sometimes this can be quite painful. You need to make those guys aware of you. We have to go back the way we came. Hopefully just as painlessly. And we do. Follow the dangerous, seductive woman to her hotel room. The teddy bear is really helpful for absorbing blows if you get caught by a fly or a ghost in the graveyard. But more importantly, the two bosses from now, he can absorb good damage. Or the slimy little pile, or the little pile of puke, I forget what he's called. And also is a good target for the Boogey Tent, which marks roughly the end of the first quarter of the game, which is as far as I'm going to get to tonight, because it's getting late. Use it on the nearest thing. Doesn't fit, bring it back. So we're going to use these on the lower leftmost and the upper rightmost. Now we're going to pick up the bubble monkey. You don't talk to the monkey though, you talk to the lady. Oh, whoops, I have to talk to him. Shoot. Whoop. And then you go through the north of winters like this. We'll despawn that crow. Again, not looking at my character, looking in front of me. Oof. Let me through, you guys. What the heck? What side are you on? Oh, man! Did I gamble wrong? Maybe we'll just kill him. He was clipped on the side. I couldn't tell what side he was on. Not ideal. If you glide right off this little corner here, you'll go right through this grove of trees easy. Do not go the bottom way past this tent because there's a photo man there. Photo stop. So if you've noticed like how the bubble monkey like moves around, he could be like quite a distance away from me because he like lags and gets distracted. Well, when you walk up to that little spot I was just at, you want him to be next to you because if he's at like max distance, he's gonna take the time to come towards you before he begins the animation. And he walks kind of slowly. There's going to be a goat that spawns down here, but you always despawn him by doing this one weird trick. You keep left and have Jeff touch the corner here. This corner here. He always disappears. So we're going to go through Brick Road's maze here. We have to take this guy head on. The worthless protoplasm. There's a chance he kills me. But I did get that one little bit of experience. That might put me over. Because he can call for help. And he hits hard, and Jeff has bad accuracy with this weapon. And being so low. Honestly, it's going very well. Cool. Yeah, I've had times where you're like... He sends you back 2 or 3 times. When you do get sent back, you don't go all the way back to the boarding school. Sometimes you can kite this duck down over here if he's not already clipped where he is. We're just going to attack him head on. We're feeling pretty low, so I'm going to eat the boiled egg you came with. And if you still need a safety item, there's a croissant in there, but I'm not going to grab it. Okay, so there's another protoplasm up here, and remember that they just slide, right? What I'm going to try to do is have him come at me, then I'll like dip below him like that, and try to dodge him completely. And but Bubble Monkey can fuck it up, because if he collides with Bubble Monkey, it's also going to... The battle's also going to start, but let's give it a shot. Oof, I didn't go down far enough. Doesn't matter. Oh, maybe it does matter. It might matter. Oh boy. No more calling for help. I'm not expecting to get into any more fights for this section of Jeff only. So I'm not going to go back and get the health item. This is Pond Cave. Lots of stutter stepping in front of us. I think it's a 20% chance to get a clear first room. There it is. Oh, this is easy. There's a hamburger in there, but because you pretty much have to stutter step the room. It's too dangerous to grab, unless it's empty like it was there. I'm not going to try to go around that guy because I might need to get into space to despawn something just past that guy. We're just going to look for a clear room. I mean, I guess I could stutter step all those things, but I don't really want to. I might be able to get around this guy. Oof. Yeah, see what I mean? Now I've got, like, I'm trying to get away from those guys, and I've got to keep this mushroom in mind now. When I could have just despawned him. But it's not that much of a issue. Excellent. So again, we're going to call up the bubble monkey here, and you want him nearby you. Maybe I can clip him. No, I'm not going to chance it. Oh my god, you guys, let me through. It takes a couple tries, but usually not this many tries. Maybe I can just despawn that one. Hey, there we go. Okay, you see how I didn't go all the way down? I kept the ones off, and only tried to despawn the one that was left. You are faster than cave boys. There's a photographer just under Stonehenge base, that little center. It's center of Stonehenge. So don't get too close to it, just below the center. This is like a 3-minute cutscene, another bathroom break opportunity. But we're going to do some inventorying once we land and reconnect with the party here. If you haven't already used the boiled egg, drop it. If you did go get that that speed equipment item in the Lilliput cave, give it over to Jeff. It's the great charm, it's not the travel charm. Give the bad machine... Actually, I should explain this differently. So now that we've got 3 party members, each of their inventories serve different purposes. Everybody's inventories are going to serve different purposes. Ness is going to have a lot of like functional items and bombs and things like that. Paula's gonna like take a lot of the crap that we don't have time to like give to Escargot Express. She's gonna like accumulate junk, basically. Jeff is going to accumulate like bottle rockets and bombs, and then when we get Pooh, he's going to be accumulating skip sandwiches, and he'll be like a reservoir of movement speed items. So when we use the bad key machine to get out of the room, we're going to give it to Paula. We're going to give the pack of bubblegum to Paula. We're going to equip Paula with the cheap bracelet and the Holmes hat now, because now we're ready to get into combat again. And then if you did have that great charm, after moving it to Jeff, remember to have him equip it too. Oh yeah, door is locked. Very much like that that door in Onett. If you walk right up to it but not against it, that prompt wouldn't appear. Okay, so now we're going to hand. Oh, about menuing, by the way. So if you need to access Jeff, like hit left, don't go like right twice. But anyways, bad key machine is going to Paula. Pack of bubblegum is going to Paula. Paula equipping. No, she's got Holmes hat and arms. And because we don't have the great charm, and we don't have any of the more food items, we're ready to go. There could be ghosts in the graveyard as soon as we get out of here. Sometimes it's good to like pause and like assess. Yeah, there's 3 enemies here. We gotta move. Excellent. Safety item in here. Another teddy bear. So we're carrying 2 around. Only one of them functions at a time. Next we're going to go to the... I like going to the weapon shop first. If you were doing the bogey percent, which is like a subsection, like a beginner's run for Earthbound, you wouldn't go here because you don't need to make this shopping stop before killing Boogey Tent. I personally like to go here now because, well, Boogey Tent scares me. Firstly, you sell the defense spray. And then what we do is we buy the toy air gun for Jeff. And we're going to buy like 5 bottle rockets for Jeff. The bottle rockets are for the tiny pile of... Oop, nope. Changed my mind. After that, we are going to fight Boogey Tent. Now, this place is dangerous. As you can see, there are enemies spawned over in the corner, but there's also zombie dogs and flies hiding around here, and like they can hide in like the tree line here. So like, be careful. Right, so here we are at Boogey Tent on the he's got 579 health. The strategy is just go hard on him. I mean, if you're counting on like making your world record, you would go defend, big bottle rocket, and hope that your big bottle rocket like dealt all the damage that you needed to like kill him in one hit. But as a means to be safe, we're going to pile on more damage. And so I'm going to take the time to actually queue up a Rockin' Alpha and a and if Paula's been in a fight yet and won, PSA Fire Alpha, but Paula hasn't gotten in a fight yet, so she's actually just going to defend anyways. There it is. Ooh, good damage. Defeated. Excellent. So if this was a boogie percent, we'd be done now. And we would be very slow. So this was a, I mean, we're really underleveled. We're extremely underleveled right now, and this was a pretty powerful boss. So we're going to take some time to level up. No, yeah. Actually, I think it wraps when you, not when you kill Boogie, but when you kill the, when you pick up this fly honey, actually. Excellent. All right, so next step. It's going up here. Get a phone call. This phone call queues up when you like hit this longitude line or latitude line. It could happen here or anywhere along like this line. So in order to queue up the... Oh wow, that was fast. Okay, so if I didn't dawdle there, like I did, like if I was actually speedrunning and I was just walking right into the circus tent, if you walk into the circus tent and wait a second, he'll show up inside the tent. But this is just as well. So we're going to put the fly paper down, but now is also a good time to give the jar of fly honey to Paula. So let's do that. Use the, oh, she's got the zombie paper because when Ness's inventory is full, it's going to flow into Paula's, and when Paula's inventory is full, it's going to flow into Jeff's. So even though I expected it to be in Ness's, oh, backstage pass, that belongs to Paula too. That's probably why I should have done that earlier. Drop the zombie paper. And here, we wait until morning for the zombie paper to work. We do that by going to the hotel. Now, if you are heavily damaged after fighting Boogey Tent, you probably feel compelled to get a full restore at the hotel. Wait until you do the zombie paper thing, and because once you do, sleeping at a hotel is a story trigger, so you'll be killing two birds with one stone. Thinking ahead here, you need at least $246 on hand for things you'll need to buy over the next hour of the game or so. And so I'm seeing I'm under right now, and so now is a good time to visit this ATM and make sure that you have enough. You need 246. Inclusive of the hotel overnight. That money that we need on the 246, that is that accounts for the hotel that we just stayed at, bus fare, and admission to the Topola Theater. Now, the next dungeon we're going to go to is the Threed Tunnel, and it's one of the most dangerous, really difficult parts of the game, and so now is a very, very good time to do a safety save. And so that's what I'm going to do here. Great. And now that we're here, I'm going to take a break. We're going to stop recording and we will circle back and do 3 tunnel next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.